Hello, everyone, and welcome to Embracing Your Essence on Lilydale Radio. I've got a really awesome, fun show planned for tonight. We are just going to basically have a free for all. So it'll be fun to see where we end up and what we end up talking about. So as you are joining in, of course, do say hello, and we will have a blast, like I'm telling you. So we are going to be we're going to be doing some intuitive questions. So if you have some questions, hi, Christy. So if you have some questions about your spiritual path, how to develop your intuition, letting go, energy work, or how to handle toxic people, etc., we can talk about that. And I'm also going to do lots of readings, little mini readings. So they could be soul readings, aura, past life, whatever. And so we'll see where we end up. It's going to be awesome. I just know it. Hi, Christy again. Hi, Bambi. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining me. And as you're all joining me, just a reminder, you want to be on my page, Colleen Vander Zijden, medium and intuitive life coach, in order to ask a question or get a mini reading, because I cannot see the comments on Lilydale's page while I am live. So make sure you're on my page. I'll repeat that again shortly. In the meantime, let me do some details. LilydaleAssembly.org is the official website for Lilydale. That's where you're going to find all of the summer season events that are happening, as well as off-season Zoom events, as well as the eclipse events that are happening very soon. I do believe the eclipse is next week. And there's all sorts of things going there. Next week on April 6th, we've got Cosmic Alignment with Yoga and Crystal Bowls with Nancy Lombardo. There's a whole celebration. There's going to be an arts and craft fair. There's going to be astrology things, lots and lots of stuff going on. So you'll want to go to lilydaleassembly.org to see all of that, as well as Lilydale Assembly Incorporated on Facebook. That is the official Facebook page, and that is where you're going to find everything that's happening. And if you don't know who I am, I should introduce myself. I am Colleen Vander Zijden. I'm a registered medium at Lilydale. I'm also a spiritual teacher and a professional violinist, just as an aside, and the author of this lovely book, Courageously You. And I just love every week on this show, I talk about something that's going to help you live your best life, help you become your best self. And we are going to go on and on about that tonight quite a bit. What else do I need to tell you? Well, let's see. I think that's about it right now. So what we're going to do tonight is we are going to talk about, again, some intuitive things. So spiritual path, intuition, letting go. I'll give you directions. I'm going to talk just a little bit about the energy that we're all experiencing right now, because I've had so many people comment on it lately. So let's see. I'm scrolling back to say hello to people that I might have missed. I think I said hello to Paula, but I can't remember. Hi, Julie. Hi, Sam. And Kathy, Julie, Glenda. Yes, Beverly named this week's show Intuitive Q&A. She named it last week, so thank you, because I was like, can't think of a name. And Jennifer and Marianne, nice to see you. Hi, Evelyn. Yeah, I know. Pretty soon, you guys, I'm going to be back home, and that's the end of those ocean pictures. But here we are. I'll have Lilydale pictures all over the place. Yes, you are most welcome, Linda. And so what I'm going to do, just so you know, is I am going to talk a little bit about the energy right now. Then I will tell you that we are getting ready to answer questions and do mini reads, okay? Because you may have noticed that the energy has shifted. I have seen so many people posting on Facebook, etc., about when we had the lunar eclipse the other day. They couldn't sleep that night, and we've got the solar eclipse coming up, and so we had this eclipse energy. I am by no means an expert in astrology, okay? So I will only talk a little bit about this, but it's important to recognize that these eclipses are symbolizing all sorts of changes and bringing energy in for us to help us change our lives, to move in a different direction in so many ways. And a lot of it has to do with life and relationship balances and releasing those old habits or maybe toxic relationships. And we also have a lot of new beginnings coming and a lot of new opportunities. And some of them may be surprising to you. That might just show up on your door, so to speak. And all of this is to help you get to the truth of who you are. So I have been talking for I don't know how many years now about the consciousness shift. And these eclipses, it's like all of a sudden everything has accelerated. Okay, so if you are noticing that you're feeling a little off, or maybe you're feeling great, and it's a little bit different, it could be the energy from everything that's happening out there. And we've got the shift, the consciousness shift, plus now we have the astrological things. So what you may want to be aware of is living intentionally while you go through this, being intentional in your responses to whatever happens. So you want to pause, you want to think, and then decide how you're going to proceed. Okay, so just be more aware while we're in this time, whether or not astrology is true, etc., etc. I don't know for sure, but I do know that the energy is something else these days, and so we want to pay attention to that. And part of this is we want to keep ourselves in a good place. We also, I've noticed some people are saying that things are coming up into their awareness, things that maybe they had forgotten about from years ago, or they're starting to notice maybe the shadow side of themselves more, and that stuff is coming up. And what's happening is we are, in a way, being forced to look at those things so we can let them go, so we can address them, maybe heal them if that's necessary, process emotions if that's necessary. So then we can heal these things and then move forward with a cleaner slate as we're moving into this new way of living in this consciousness shift. So that is so much there. Okay, we've already got a troll, you guys. So I don't know if Ashley's probably not here. But anyway, everybody just ignore that person. I don't know that I can block him myself while I'm live, and I'm hesitant to do so. So if you bear with me for 2 seconds, I'm going to scroll back and just say hello to more people. Hi, Krista, Lisa, Bridget, Dog, Leanne. Oh, I skipped somebody. Bobby and Linda, Debbie, Stephanie. So nice to see you guys. Don't forget your crab before you come home. I know, right? Thank you for hosting. Love the beach pics. Thanks for hosting. Oh, Jackie, well, thanks for joining us. Tonight's going to be a fun show. And Valerie, the energy is shifting and it is crazy. Trying to find my place. The quickening, yes. Lovely, lovely. Dane is back. How is everyone? Okay, you guys want to bear with me for 2 seconds and see if I can't block this person right away. I don't want to do it while I'm in here live because I'm afraid I might screw something up. So just bear with me, and then we're going to get to this is the, hold on. Sorry, psychic medium. You are destined to be great and rich. Leanne, isn't that wonderful to know? Okay, let me scroll back to that person and see if I can't block him right now. Just bear with me, y'all. Oh, I can't do it. Poopers. So just ignore that person. Okay, so let's get to what we're going to do. Now, number one. You've got to be on my page if you want a reading or if you have a question to ask, okay? My page is Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach. I will not be able to, of course, get to everyone, but some of the messages I give to people frequently, other people can understand. I want to have questions that are interesting, okay? Don't ask me if somebody's going to pick you up at the airport. That is a story that will go down in infamy with me because somebody called into a radio show I was on to ask me that question, and that's just stupid. Sorry. So we want to have good questions like, how can I improve my spiritual path? Who am I really? How can I make my intuition better? How can I handle this problem I have in my family from a spiritual perspective? What do I need to do about my energy? How to handle jerky people? We can also, and we will do, mini readings. Now, these are the kinds of readings we've got, you guys. It sounds like a prize situation, doesn't it? So we have soul readings. What a mini soul reading is I connect in with you, I look at your soul, and I find a quality or two that catch my attention. And what I will do is tell you about that quality within you, some of the things you may have learned. Because if you came in, I'm going to use the same example I always use. You guys who know me, you know what I'm going to say right now. So say you're an empath. You came here into this lifetime to be sensitive and connect with people. You probably always are going to have some kind of narcissistic relationship. So whatever you came into this lifetime to express, part of your purpose is you're going to have to learn some things about that. So if you're a really giving person, you're going to have to learn to set boundaries. So we go that way. Then we also have aura readings where I read your colors, if you will. This is just intuitively what I feel. Sorry, it's not the end all, okay, because our aura colors do shift some, but usually what I see are the colors that are important for you at this lifetime. Sometimes I go into past life mini readings, which is always fun to see what happens. Usually that past life has some connection to this present lifetime for some reason, which I will explain as I go. And sometimes I just talk and we see where we end up. If you've never watched me before, I have a guide who is usually over here. So if you see me looking over here, that's what's happening. Okay. And so if you have a really cool question, you can put it in the comments. And if you want to, if you want a reading, you can write something in there too. And I'm just going to scroll right now, see what catches my attention. Yeah, we're talking about the scammer right now. Apparently, just ignore that person. I'll block them as soon as I can. Okay. Oh, God, that's another scammer. We got another one. Ignore that one too. Okay. I'm going to go to Glenda first, just because what she said. You want to catch my attention, you guys. So she just said, I've actually been pretty calm, LOL, hoping this is a good thing. Now, here's the interesting thing about the energy shifting. Sometimes as our bodies, our own energy is shifting to a higher vibration, a newer vibration, we can feel uncomfortable. We can feel as though things are going wrong. All those old memories might come up. But what can also happen is we can feel really good too. We can move into that sense of, wow, my life is really in the flow now. And I would expect that's what's happening with Glenda, and that she is moving into the flow even stronger. And part of that, and Glenda, I'm just going to give you a little mini read since you're here and I'm talking to you. What's really fun is I am seeing the color silver, and silver to me usually means a high vibration. It usually means connecting. The channel is connected to the divine. So I see silver all around you, and it's a sparkly one, and I always like the sparkles, as you know, because it gives me joy, basically. And so with that, I would say that Glenda is the kind of person who is working to make sure her channel is open to the divine, and also that she is doing her best to experience life from a joyful way, and also that she is somebody who does not settle for less than what she wants. So Glenda, I'm talking about you in the third person here as I'm addressing other people as well. And it's actually kind of cool, Glenda, because I can see that you've gone through a lot of crap in your life, and also you've had to let go of a lot of things. I wonder if there might still be something left that you're trying to let go of, a leftover memory, something like that. I am getting the impression something like that is around. And I also see you very clearly taking care of that. Okay, so no need to worry if you are pretty calm. Hi, Fran. Charity, thank you for reporting them. Yes, hello, Kim and Karen. Okay, so if you guys have questions, get my attention. Oh, it scrolled. If you have never watched me before, I do not have a poker face. So if you write something that surprises me, you're going to know. Julie says she can't see the comments. Julie, I can see yours, so you must be on my page. And a reminder, if you just joined in, you want to be on my page, Colleen Van Der Zijden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach, if you want to get a mini reading or ask a question. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, I got a couple things going. I'm writing down names because I want to come back in case it skips too fast on me. Okay, so Dane, I'm talking to a guy now. Does he seem like he would be a good match for me? That's an interesting feeling for me because what I'm feeling right away is a little bit of hesitation on my energy's part. So, and I know you're pretty good about being... what's the word? Discerning, about being discerning. So pay attention to how it feels. I definitely don't want, and I'm speaking for my guide right now, I don't want you jumping in with both feet without knowing exactly what is happening. Doesn't feel that comfortable to me as yet, okay? So just be careful about that. So that's just a little brief reading for you. Okay. Maureen's asking, I wonder how I should handle toxic people in my life. This is where, if I could see all y'all, I'd be saying, okay, raise your hand if you've got toxic people in your life. So I will imagine I'm seeing all those hands waving. So toxic people are interesting, right? Because they suck our energy right out of us. You know, they're like energy vampires. My perception from this is to be as strong as possible in who you are. Know yourself so well that you are comfortable with yourself. And now this is an ongoing process, of course, because we're always evolving. Know yourself as best you can. Be as aware of yourself so that you can recognize when you become reactive rather than intentional. Because you know how it is when we're around difficult people, we can get triggered and we want them to act differently. And so sometimes we forget to take a step back and be intentional in our responses. Otherwise, we might be too reactive and say something we regret or get ourselves worked up because we want them to be different. So if we can recognize that toxic people aren't going to change, that will help. And we can recognize that we don't have to step into their energy and get triggered. That helps. The more you understand how you respond, the easier that becomes. Okay, scrolling down. Okay, and let's see, Nancy, intentional thinking makes so much sense. It's hard for me to remember to pause and not react. That would be another time where I would say, okay, how y'all doing with that? Because, right, you know how it is. It's that, as soon as you get triggered with something, that's when things go wrong. And so we have to remember to be as aware as possible of ourselves so we don't get triggered. It's so essential. Alyssa Robbins, you got my attention just by saying hello. I have no idea how that worked, but I trust my guide implicitly. So, Alyssa, if you want a reading, I'm going to give you one. So hopefully you're going to want one. When I go into your soul, when I look at your soul, ooh, this is a nice soul. I always have such a great audience. I have the most amazing people come and watch here. And so I get to meet some really awesome people this way. So Alyssa, when I touch in with your soul, what I'm seeing right away is such a beautiful sense of kindness, compassion, and caring. It feels so soul level to me. And it feels like as a child, you must have been such a joyful, blissful child because there's this trusting with you. I'm also getting the impression, you'll have to let me know, you can write it in the comments if I'm right on this. I'm also getting the impression that you have had some relationships, and I don't necessarily mean totally romantic ones. It could be romantic, could be friend, could be family. So some relationships that were very difficult for you. And you really had to learn to trust yourself and not lose that beautiful sense of kindness, love, and caring that you have, because it's such a strong part of you. And here's the beautiful thing with this. Anytime you've had a struggle or a problem with somebody, you were able to reconnect to that part. And because of struggles and problems, that compassion and kindness of you and that love of you just gets stronger and stronger. I would want to know, Alyssa, if you are working in some kind of a helping field, because the energy I feel from you is so much of give and help. It just feels so natural to me that that's who you are. And as long as you keep connected to that part of you, that loving part, oh, right. My guy just said, don't forget to put it back on yourself as well to keep yourself loving. Like look at yourself from a loving perspective and treat yourself with kindness as well, which leads me to think that maybe you might have put your own needs on the back burner, as I like to say, and maybe overgave a little bit too much, trying to help or keep people happy. There might have been some people pleasing going on there, huh? And so he's just reminding you of that. So as long as you stay focused on your heart, as long as you stay focused there, you will always be led to where you need to be. Ooh, I got goosebumps on that. That's a good one. Well, nice to see you, Alyssa. That was interesting. Let's see. Okay, Nikki. She says, I used to feel as though I could feel spirits around me. And right after losing my parent, I felt nothing and just can't understand why. And it's breaking my heart. Why can't I feel him here at all? And I know there are other people who have felt this way as well. Now, Nikki, what I'm going to tell you, Spirit told me, I don't know, a year or two ago, and I had never thought of it this way. And so I was really surprised. So I knew it was true because I was surprised by it. What Spirit told me was that when we have somebody who has crossed over to the other side and we don't feel them, and maybe we could feel spirit before, but we can't feel them, especially when it's somebody really important, like a parent, right? Because we want to feel them, don't we? But when we don't feel them, what Spirit said is that they are so close to us that there's no delineation between our energy and theirs. It's like they have us in this beautiful hug, and their energy is totally around us, totally within us, totally supporting us and loving us. And they're so close to us. That's why we can't feel them. Isn't that a wild thought? I was so surprised when that came up in a reading a couple of years ago, whenever it was, that I literally stopped and looked over here where spirit comes in over here for me. And I looked over there and went, really? And then as I thought about it, wouldn't it make sense? Because spirit wants us to know they're around, so they're going to be around us, right? But they also want to help us. They want to show us that love. They want to give us that reassurance that we're going to be okay and we're still loved and supported from the other side. So they are actually around you. And Nikki, I can tell you that your spirit people are around you, and I'm assuming it's a father because I think you said him, that your father is also around you. And I want to know, just a little brief check-in on this, and you can write in the comments if I'm right or not. I want to know if he has a little bit of a quirky sense of humor, because all of a sudden I'm getting a little quirky sense of humor, and I want to do like you know how when, well, I'm sure you do, when somebody special looks at you and they just look at you and you know what they're thinking, that's what it feels like. I get that connection there. And so I would not be at all concerned, Nikki, that you can't feel the people, because they're just so close. And if in fact this is your father that's slightly touching in right now, he seems like a really good guy, and I really like his smile. So anyway, I'll just leave you with that piece of information. Okay, loving your questions, you guys. At some point this is going to scroll on me and I'm not going to be able to see everything. So if I don't answer you, you can ask again. Just don't ask it like 400 times, okay? Just you'll know when it scrolls on me and I can't see you anymore. Lisa says, how can I figure out what to concentrate on or work on next on my spiritual journey? And I know a lot of people probably have that question too. And so many times, and I think so much of it for a lot of us is when we start on our spiritual path, it's like we want to know exactly what we're supposed to do so we can get to it, right? And this is the same thing with life. If we're unsure about how to move forward, or we're feeling directionless, or we want more purpose, we want somebody to tell us, okay, do this. And so what we want to do, and for Lisa, this is what I'm going to do for you, is we want to touch in with our truth. Who are we really? At our soul level, we are love, we are light, everybody. Okay, now some people don't demonstrate it very well in the physical life, but that's who we really are. And I happen to know that that's how Lisa is as well. She is a person that is authentic. She's full, and I'll talk to you instead of saying she. I'm in the third person today for some reason. So Lisa, you are very authentic. You are very genuine. You truly want to live in integrity. And those are big qualities for you. And for moving forward, like what to concentrate on, what to work on, the next part of your journey here. I always tell everybody, whatever catches your interest, follow that. So if you ever said to yourself one time, I'd like to do energy healing, then follow that. If I want to learn more about crystals, follow that. I am a big believer that whatever we are interested in, and whatever we pursue, even just by a little bit, okay, we don't become a professional at something, that everything we're doing is forming a foundation so we're ready to go to the next step. So Lisa, since I mentioned energy healing with you, do you do any energy work? It's kind of interesting that popped in. I was surprised when it came out of my mouth. So there is something with energy work here, and my hands are tingling, which is always a sign that I'm talking to somebody who is an energy healer. And that may be something to play with if you have not, or even if you have done it, to see what other area you might be interested in. Now, here's the thing. Everything is energy. So no matter what you do, you'll be using energy. And I wonder as well, Lisa, if you see auras. I just feel like you can. And so for those of you who want to know how to see auras, let's talk about that little tangent right now. To see an aura, you know how when the heat is a lot in the summer and you can see that wavy energy on top of the road? That's kind of like what an aura or energy looks like. So you might be looking at something and you think you're seeing something. It's not going to be, as bright as a pen or something like that, holding it up and you can see it that clearly. It's going to look more fuzzy, like something's happening there. And a fun way, if you've taken a class with me before, you probably heard me say this, a fun way to look at auras is to get in a room where it's fairly really dim, not dark, but dim. So like in here, I've got a light in front of me, but I don't have any overhead light up here. And what you do is you put your fingers above your head like this. So they're at the ceiling. So pretend they're over my head right now. And you put your fingers together like this. And what you want to do is you want to look in between your fingers as you pull them apart. Okay, and then just go real slowly with that. And then as you do it, then you can come back and do it again. And what you might start to notice is like a silver or a green light around your fingers. So you look in the middle and it's almost like you have to stare so your eyes get a little blurry. And you just kind of look right in the middle and you'll start to notice that there's an energy light line that's connecting between your fingers. Okay, and doing it here like this is a little easier to see because the light's not in the way, so you can sometimes see it better. So anyway, wasn't that fun? So a little fun thing to do to play with seeing auras. That's one way to do it. And so Lisa, anyway, energy feels like energy to me. So I would explore all sorts of different energetic things, see what grabs your interest. You'll have to write in the comments, tell me what you think about all that. Christy says she can't see any comments at all. Ugh. I'll tell you, tech, I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, let's see. Bobby Gilbert Cuomo, I don't know. She's always wanted a past life reading. So what I do with a past life reading is I just say whatever pops into my head. And obviously these can't be verified, but if it makes sense to you, you might have a little bit of a feeling on it. And it's always fun to see what happens. Okay, so what I am seeing, this is going to be funny. Bobby, I am seeing like, how can I do it? An old time school teacher. Okay, I am seeing old time, like 19th century kind of, maybe a little bit into the 1900s. So in the 1800s, I am seeing that. I am seeing the outfit. It's rather drab, and I can see that there. You and in some ways it feels like a really stereotypical, old maid kind of energy. But here's the interesting thing. Okay, I love a good surprise, is before you were a teacher in that lifetime, you were actually married and you had a child and life was great and you were so happy. And then an illness came through the community you lived in. It looks to me like polio, smallpox. I'm not a science illness person. I don't know. So polio, smallpox, one of those. Okay, so I see it coming through and it wipes a lot of people out and it actually wipes your family out. When you became a teacher, the reason you became a teacher was because you wanted to be with children, because you very much loved children. You wanted to be with children. And in some ways, it was an honor and memory of your family. So you wanted to help. You took your pain, the loss, and turned it into helping. And you literally would go from village to village, and you would stay someplace for a while, a year or two, and then you would go someplace else. The reason you did that is because it was too hard for you to stay put in one place, and that's when the thoughts started coming up and it just got hard. So then you would go someplace else and experience something new. So with that, in relation to this life, I would expect that I do wonder if you still, as in that life, go from one thing to the next. And I'm wondering, because back then it's like you sort of processed the emotions, but you didn't do it all the way kind of thing. You never got married again, that kind of thing. But the love you had for the kids was so strong, your students. So I wonder if in this lifetime, if you really love kids. And I also wonder if sometimes you prefer to run away than deal with things. And I'm pretty sure a bunch of people would raise their hands on that one. And I also wonder, interesting. If you've had any significant loss, and you do not have to share that in the comments, okay? That because it's like some of that heartache I still feel some of that heartache for you. What's really notable to me is that even with all that, you didn't give up. You kept going, you kept trying to help. It was such a draw for you to help in that way. How interesting. Yeah. And also, how interesting now. I am also wondering if maybe your husband and child from that lifetime are in this lifetime currently. Maybe not necessarily as a husband and a child. It could be a brother, it could be a mother, it could be a friend. I am really getting a strong connection there. So, one more thing I'd be interested in is if you have a couple people in your life now where there's a soul connection. You just know there's a soul connection. I'd be interested in that. Okay, I'll stop talking on that one. That was interesting, wasn't it? Ah, ah. Da, 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 da. Well, Julie, I'm also live on Lilydale's page, so they should be able to find me there. Um, yes. Okay. I want Okay, Kristen. I have lots of things have happened to me: cancer, death of my husband, and I feel I'm moving into a better place. I want to find a new calling to have a profession that is joyful. Will this happen? Yes, it will happen. Absolutely, Kristen. Absolutely. You when we've had big stuff happen, cancer, a loss of our husband, that's big stuff. And that life can be hard and life can be unfair and things happen, right? But you have really worked hard to get through that. You have really worked hard to find the joy. I have to tell you, when I touch in with your soul, I feel such a sense of you being a connector. And what I mean by that is you are really good at connecting with people. There's the empath feeling here very strongly. And a lot of people are waking up to recognizing they are an empath. You probably already know this, but for people who don't know, an empath is somebody who picks up on other people's energy intentionally or unintentionally at times. Somebody walks by you, all of a sudden you're in a bad mood because you picked up their energy. Being an empath is an amazing thing, but it can also be kind of scary sometimes because we're so sensitive as empaths, and our emotions can be up and down. We can feel like we're all over the place. And sometimes being an empath means we know what other people need and we might overgive to them and all of that. But anyway, back to Kristen with the empath that you are and the connecting thing. I feel like there is a profession, a calling, something there for you where you are going to help people. You're going to be there for them. It does not feel like, one of my mediumship teachers said once, if you ever say it doesn't feel like, it probably is that. So just in case, I was going to say it doesn't feel like a healthcare field, but maybe it is a healthcare field, but it doesn't feel like a highly stressful one, like you're working in the ER as a nurse or doctor or something like that. It feels like you're helping people with their health in some way or another. It could be mental, emotional. It could be as a mentor. It could be as a guide. Have you ever thought about being an advocate? Helping people, children. I see children again. Interesting. Helping them in some way. Could be a big brother, big sister kind of thing. I don't know, but that's what it feels like because you are such a connector. With your empathic abilities, you're able to feel what they need. So there's something with that. And so I know, okay, what's necessary is to follow what brings you joy and what catches your interest. We're back to the catching the interest thing that I told somebody else. Follow that. It's so funny, everybody, because I had somebody once, it was a client, and we were trying to talk about how to move forward. How do we discern what we should do, all of that stuff. And what I ended up telling her was to follow the fun. If it was fun, do it. just go do that. It'll be fun. But we have been trained in this society that fun things are not important, that we have to have some kind of a big purpose. We have to, save the world or whatever. But if we're doing something fun, that means our energy is going to be fun. It's going to be higher vibration. We are going to be more open. We're going to be more likely to be in that spiritual flow when we're having fun. And when we have fun, we attract things to us that will be fun, but also things that we love to do. So it's not wasting our time to kind of go after fun and just, and obviously I'm not talking about partying all the time. I'm talking about if you really like being out in nature, go out in nature. If you like going to the beach, go to the beach. Because what happens when we move into those things that we enjoy is our energy gets stronger, and that will lead us to where we need to be. I know it sounds so strange because people are like, no, no, no. I mean, we have to do this and this and this to get there, but we don't. We absolutely don't. And before I forget to talk about it, I have a retreat coming up, you guys. Reimagine Your Life in-person retreat. It is happening in Celeron, New York, which is near Jamestown, which is near Lilydale. And it's like 20 minutes away from Lilydale. We have this beautiful hotel that we're going to do everything in. And it's called Reimagine Your Life. And what we do there is we do all sorts of fun things to help you let go of blocks, things that are blocking you from living your best life, things that you might be holding on to from the past that you haven't quite gotten rid of yet. We do that. We work on intuitive development. We're working with the energy. Greg is going to do a spiritual activation, which is a really cool process to relive and deepen a prior mystical or powerful or spiritual experience. It's really magical. And the whole point is to help you start to get more clarity on how to move forward, living your life. How do you want to reimagine your life? And that's what we're going to do. And it's May 3 through 5, close to Lilydale. And you can find more information on my website, BeCourageouslyYou.com or ColleenVanderzijden.com. Same thing. You can also find it here on my Facebook page, Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach. The next week is the deadline for early bird pricing as well as the hotel discount. But you can find more information. I have an event here on my Facebook page, and also you can go to my website, and that will help. Wanted to mention that while I was thinking about it. So, Kristen, yes, follow your fun. Yes. Okay, I'm going to continue on. Laura says, I would love to win the lottery so I could spend a lot of time at the beach and be happy. I was told years ago by guide, spirit, or something that I was never going to win the lottery, and yet every now and then I still try, the big lottery. I don't know, I guess it's not meant for me. Okay, let me scroll back so I can see some of the people I missed. I don't know what that means. Christy Fisher says, I always thought my soul is connected to my parents. Let's talk about soul families for just a sec. Okay, so you may have heard the phrase soul family, and that's a human construct, okay? But our souls are connected. We are all one. Everyone is one. This is what's happening with the consciousness shift we are currently experiencing. We are moving into a new way of living, a new way of looking at life, a new way of being. And all of that we're moving into is being out in the love and the light. Okay, I know it sounds cliche, but that's what's happening, love and light. And to get to that point, it's really important that we recognize we are all one. Okay, so when you look at social media, for example, and you see some of the bullying that happens there and the name calling, right? And we think, oh, I'm not like that person at all. We may or may not be like that person at all, but we are one. How they treat other people, how we treat other people, that affects everybody's energy. So in this consciousness shift, we're trying, the light workers, if you will, are trying to shift the energetic balance so we are more in the love rather than the hate and the fear. So this all ties to soul families. Our souls are connected. So those people that maybe you don't like, you are connected to them. This doesn't mean in the physical life you have to put up with them. Okay, that doesn't mean you have to do unconditional love gone wrong where you do everything for them. You still have to protect your energy. To live in the love means you also protect your energy. Okay, but if we can recognize that we are one, we can also give maybe somebody some compassion that maybe they don't know better. They just can't. In this lifetime, they don't realize that they're not living from love. And if sometimes people will realize it and they don't care. Okay. So, but we can give compassion to them and recognize they just aren't understanding that at this point. And again, you can go back to protect your energy. And so, Christy, it is highly likely that your soul is connected to your parents. There are soul connections all over the place. This doesn't mean for all of you guys who have experienced, an instant connection with somebody and you think, oh, I've got to marry that person. That's my person. Maybe it's not. Maybe they murdered you in a past life and you're like, no, not in this lifetime. I'm supposed to say no this time around. Who knows? But anyways, always be discerning in this physical life. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Okay, Krista, I'm struggling to find the joy and how to deal with people who I thought were friends. I know I have some empath traits, but it's hard. Yeah, being an empath can be real tricky. I am teaching a workshop this summer at Lilydale called The Courageous Empath. It's the beginning of August, where I'm going to help people strengthen their empath abilities and their ability to protect themselves. So, struggling with people who you thought were friends, it's important to recognize that well, there's a lot of things I can say about that, so I don't want to go on and on forever. As we live, sometimes we evolve. We always evolve. And that means sometimes people who are in our lives may disappear. Maybe they have to go in a different direction for whatever reason. Maybe they were not kind to you. Maybe you're just in a different place now and your vibration just doesn't match anymore. I like to talk about values sometimes when we talk about friends, because if your value is integrity and they're stealing things, then obviously that's not a great match. Okay. And sometimes we think we have to be with people who are difficult, and we don't always have to be with them. Now, it's a little harder if it's colleagues, your boss, or your parents, and you want to still spend time with them. So what we can do is recognize something similar to what I said earlier, is that people are who they are. We can accept that that's who they are, and we can also protect our energy at the same time. Okay. Now, if you're with somebody who is very difficult and you always feel badly when you leave, which I have a feeling might be happening since you mentioned the empath thing, if that's the case, you can put up an energetic barrier around yourself just by intention. I've got an energy barrier around myself, or I'm in a circle of energy, light energy, and only positive energy can enter the space. Something like that. You can do that. You can also, once you recognize that they are the way they are and you want to maintain a relationship, but you don't want to be triggered by them, you can do that. You can also go, this is just the way they are, and step back from that. Yeah, it is hard. It's hard when we have people that maybe were our friends for a while and then it just doesn't feel right anymore. And it's okay to go in a different direction and find new friends. It's okay to do that. It might not be fast or easy, but it's possible. And as long as you do what I've said like 3 times now, go after your joy, look for the fun stuff, that is going to help. So just a little reading there for you, Krista, because that's a big topic that I could go on for 3 hours for. Okay, let's see what else we got. There's so many things. I'm just waiting to see where my guide stops me. Okay, Julie, I'll do this one because that's an easy one for right now. What is a good thing to think or an intention before going out into the world in the morning, especially if there's some not good feeling situations? So many times we think that we have no power to change how we're living. We think we cannot. Okay, and I'm speaking to everybody here, not just Julie. Sometimes we think that, my life is so hard. I've got these issues, these problems. They're dragging me down. I'm really worried about these things. And so, yes, life can throw these things at us, and they're challenging, they're difficult, they can be upsetting, etc. But here's where the difference is between falling into that rabbit hole and being so worried that we ruin our lives, or being intentional in directing how we want our day to go, how we want to use our energy. We do not have to spend all our time reacting to whatever's happening around us. We do not. Now, granted, if something horrible happens, someone dies, and you're upset, grieve, express those emotions. Okay, this doesn't mean skip over those things. But once we've expressed the emotions to whatever is happening, we can move forward. And to, even if we've got little things, we can feel a little out of control sometimes. A good intention, what we do in the morning is we set an intention of how we want our day to go. Okay, who we want to be. So depending on what you want in your life. Now, say you want more joy, since we've talked about that quite a bit tonight already. So say you want to have more joy. So you might set an intention of I am joy. What you do next is you feel it. What would you feel like if you were joyful? What would you feel like? Your energy would be open, you'd be happy, you'd be having a good time, right? So you set that in the morning, you can say it, then you feel it, and then as you go about your day, you will, if you do this every day, you will start to find moments where you're experiencing more joy. You will start to find moments where you have a choice to choose between joy or anger, irritation, frustration, whatever. And because you've set that intention, now you'll be recognizing you have the power of choice. Am I going to choose joy or not? Which one am I going to do? If you're looking for more love in your life, or you want to be more loving to yourself, you could say, I am love. Same thing. How would you feel if you were love? How would you act if you were love? Would you be kind to yourself? Would you be compassionate towards the jerk down the street? Would you show kindness to all sorts of people? How would you show that? It's individual for everyone because we're all individual people and we're all unique. So you might show love differently than somebody else shows love. And again, don't forget about ourselves. So intentions, being intentional about how we live, setting that morning intention can make a huge difference. Sometimes people say to me, oh, I tried it, it didn't work. Well, I'm telling you, that's because they either didn't feel it or they didn't follow through with it. It's not magic like you say in the morning, I am joy, and then the rest of my life is all going to be joyful. No, this is life. We have ups and downs. But if you say I am joy every day, every morning, and even throughout your day, or even before you go to sleep at night, if you use this intention and really feel it, it works. That I can guarantee you. It works. Okay, but you got to make the effort. You don't make the effort, it doesn't work. Fundamental. Nice one. Bambi. Oh, look, Ashley is here and posted the retreat too. Yay. Okay. Let's see. I feel like I need to do a little mini reading. Yeah, I think we got rid of the troll, or maybe not. Okay, if we have another troll, somebody can get rid of it. Oh, here we go. If Gabal Malia or whatever, if Ashley's still here, she'll take care of it. Yep. Oh man, I do some classes virtually every now and then. I do have a community with my husband called Soul Empowerment Community. We do a lot of classes there. Okay. Okay, let's do Ann Williams. I'm going to do a reading for you, Ann. Let me see what kind I'm going to do. I got to see what he wants me to do. Huh. Okay. We're going to start with colors for you. So, Anne, what I'm seeing is the color blue. The color blue for me is communication, but I'm also seeing it as a flow. Okay, when I see energy moving, that usually tells me we're moving forward into a new direction. I don't see lots of obstacles in the road there, if you will. But I do see, interesting. I love when they show me cool video or visions in my head. I do see twists and turns. Okay, I see a meandering kind of flow of blue energy. So the communication is there. And with the blue, I'm also getting the sense of, not to get too personal, I feel like sometimes you might get stuck a little bit in the worrying. Getting focused on something and thinking too much. There is a bit of a feeling of that happening. I feel a little bit of being dragged down by thinking too much. And I also get a feeling of a little bit of constriction in my throat, which means I'm wondering if you're saying everything you need to say to people around you. So think about those things. Then you can use your power of choice to decide which direction you're going to go in. Is there something you need to say that you're not saying? Is there something you need to say to yourself? How to protect yourself, how to love yourself, whatever it might be. So there's that as well. It is interesting when I see this. As humans, we want things to happen boom, 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 as fast as possible. Sometimes my favorite phrase is, I want what I want and I want it now. You know, when I'm talking to clients, we say that. And so we want to trust the flow. That's where he's going. I wondered what he was doing here. So we want to trust that life is unfolding as it should unfold. This does not mean we don't take action. This doesn't mean we don't have a goal. This doesn't mean we don't work towards something. But we trust that whatever is happening is supposed to be happening. It's kind of like we go, huh, whatever happens, let's see. Let's see what happens. That's different than, oh, I hope this happens. Okay, there's, oh, I hope this happens is a desperate energy, which can actually push away what we want. And we never want that to happen. So we go, let's just see what happens. When we're in that flow, the twists and turns of life, and we trust it, we go, let's just see. And I trust it's going to work the best way, whatever way that is. This is a big jump for people to go from working towards something and wanting something to, oh, let's just see. But that's our ultimate goal, really, is to be in that state of trusting so that we are not worried about things. Because we go, if it's not working out, there must be a reason for it. We may not know what the reason is, and we may never know what the reason is. But maybe there's something there with that. So it seems like the big message for you is to check the communication and also move into trusting as much as you can. That's a big one. So a little bit at a time. Maybe in the morning, your intention could be, I trust the flow. That might be fun. And that means the spiritual flow where you are guided. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. Ashley says, the troll has been blocked. Do not send any information. It is amazing to me how they find me, these people, and then they're obnoxious. They're just obnoxious. I will never, ever, or anybody who is legit is ever going to send you a Facebook message or anything like that, say you need a reading or you need to pay money. Never, never, never give anybody money if they send you that. I will never, never do that. Okay, so I only have a few minutes left. I got time. Don't worry, I'm not done, but I just wanted to mention, I'm Colleen Van Der Zijden. If you're not on my page, Colleen Van Der Zijden, medium and intuitive life coach. I can't see your comments, okay? I just wanted to mention that, just in case. Dawn, thank you. I'm glad you love my energy. Okay, next. Nikki, P.S. You are right. We were read each other's mind and hear words without using them connected. I miss him dearly. And yes, he was quirky and he had a great smile. Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. I actually remember who I was talking to because he was like right there. Isn't that amazing? I tell you, I love when spirit comes in and just a little bit of information, but it's that, you know, that look. You know that look. That's the look. Okay, Leanne, let's see what happens is my motto, she says. And so we want to connect with Leanne right now. And I just want to talk about Leanne's beautiful heart. Okay. Leanne is a person, and I don't know why I'm going in third person today. When I talk about people, it's so interesting. It's like I'm teaching all of you or something, and so I'm going to talk about her in that way. So Leanne, you're an amazing person. Okay, I happen to know she's an amazing person. She's also somebody who has a really big heart. She's a person who's gone through a lot of, see, I'm back in the third person, whatever. She's gone through a lot of stuff, but she always goes for the joy. She always goes for the joy and has so much trust. And I have to tell you, Leanne, and I don't normally do this kind of reading, but it's popping into my head. And you know me, I'll say anything. I am actually feeling money coming to you. I never say anything like that. Never, never, never. I am actually feeling money coming to you. So we will see on that. It feels like a surprise. And here's the thing with you. I can see you getting the money, and I can't tell you how much or anything, okay? But it's more than $20, okay? But I can see you getting the money. And your first reaction is, how can I use this to help? What can I get to make their lives easier? What can I do this? It has nothing to do with making your life better. It has to do with other people. It's like your soul is so connected, so giving, loving, kind, that it's a natural, instinctual response to use money to help others. It's amazing. I have to tell you, the energy I'm getting right now is just so, I'm going to call it soul-filled. That's what it feels like, soul-filled energy. And I'm loving this. So there you go, Leanne. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? A little money. Don't we all want that message, right? Somebody give me $1,000 right now. Marianne, does my guide have a name? You know what? He doesn't. So I've been calling him CG for a coaching guide, but he does more than that. Um, yeah, haven't quite got that. Um, yeah. Let's see what else. Anything. I'm looking to see who's grabbing my interest. Um, well, this is an interesting question. Um, Amy says, my 4-year-old grandson saw and talked with her uncle, her uncle at camp last summer. I just found this out the other day. It scrolled a little bit. When I showed the grandson his picture for the first time, and he told me he knew him. How can I help my grandson channel? Now, first things first, depends on how old they are. And second, don't cross any lines with the parents. Okay, very important. Don't do that. If they're into it, cool. The best thing to help somebody channel, and this applies to adults as well as kids, but kids particularly, if they start telling stories about somebody around them, they see your uncle, they see your grandfather, or whatever it is, to listen and ask questions. Now, here's the thing. If the kids are little, what happens is they come into this world and they can channel, and then they hit about 5, 6, 7, and it kind of goes away for most of them because they're in the physical world now, and so it kind of fades. But the big thing is always to listen to whatever is happening. And for all of us who want to channel better, you guys have watched me before, you know what I'm going to say. You got to know yourself as well as possible. The more you know yourself, the more you'll recognize when something is different. So if you check in with yourself, how are you feeling physically? How are you feeling mentally and emotionally? So you know what's going on, you've checked in with yourself. So and then, you're just going about your day, and all of a sudden you get this feeling like, maybe it gets really cold on one side of you, and you think, well, that's weird. Why is it so cold? There's no wind. There's nothing happening. So you get curious, what is happening here? And it could be a spirit standing next to you. Or a thought pops into your head, and you go, where did that come from? And it's just an intuitive moment, because you'll notice it because it's different. So the best way to channel and strengthen your intuition is to know yourself really well. It really is amazing. Amy says he's 4, and my daughter was happy to hear it. Good. So at this point, 4 is a great age, okay? 4 is a wonderful age. So you don't want to push it. You don't want to say, do you see any spirits around or anything like that? You want to just be open to whatever he talks about and ask questions. Oh, what does he look like? What's he saying? Is he happy? Are you happy? And write things down, because we think we're going to remember, but we're not. So write it down. And so you'll have it as a record, and just go with it as much as we can. Oh, one more thing, thank you, is creativity. Being creative is a way to get our soul really flowing, okay, and our channel flowing. So if he's interested in dancing, writing, music, coloring, anything, building things, okay, encourage the creativity as much as possible. That helps channeling. Isn't that interesting? Who would have thought? But it's true. Yes, good. Okay, let's see. Emmy, I'm so lost in my spiritual development right now. I know what I want to do, but it feels hard to approach, or maybe not a good fit. Here's the thing. If we want to do something, that means it's something we want to, that we might be getting drawn toward, right? That it's like a calling. If we want to do something, there's a reason for it. So that doesn't mean that it's always going to be easy. Okay, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. But what you want to do is start moving in that direction, one step at a time. As you're doing it, you might find that something else comes up and you're off here and running on a side adventure. Something else comes up and you're over there, or something happens. So I'm just going to pick an example. Say you want to start a business. Okay, and you've got a great idea. You're very excited about it. You found it's going to be an in-person physical business, and you found a great location for it. Everything is going great. Then you go and you talk to the landlord. You got a lease. The price is awesome, and then before the lease is signed, never sign anything until you know for sure it's going to work. The code officer comes in and says, "Nope, nope, you can't do it here. Yeah, nope." Absolutely not. And you're like, oh no, this is horrible. This is the perfect location. It's just what I needed. And then sometimes our humanness takes that as a message. No, don't do it at all. But what it could be is God protecting you and going, not in that location. Something is bad about that location. And so maybe you have to kind of put that on hold or go in a different direction, but still connected. Or something else could come up and you think maybe using that weird example, maybe you wanted to start a cafe, okay, and then it doesn't work, but then something else comes up and you decide, you know what I'd really like to do is like a wine bar. Wouldn't that be fun? And so now you thought you were going to do a cafe, but it turns into a wine bar. Okay, so be open to seeing what happens. So the best thing to do is move toward what you know you want to do. And trust your path is going to unfold. And also trust that if you go down a side adventure, side journey, that there might be more to it. There might be something else coming that's even better. Or maybe you're learning something that's going to make whatever it is you really want even better. Okay? It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because our humanness, we want things quickly and we don't want to take time. We don't want to have to we don't want to have problems. We want it to be easy, but life is not always that way. Okay. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Okay. It is 9 o'clock, y'all. So I think I probably should stop talking. I have started using y'all. I don't know what's up with that. So anyway, I will not be here next week because I will be traveling back home. How fun. I hope it warms up and gets above 40 degrees. That would be lovely. So anyway, in case you don't know me, Colleen Vanderzijden, and you can find more information on my website, colleenvanderzijden.com or becourageously.you.com, and check out my retreat if you think you might be interested in coming and having fun with us. Got all sorts of things. The price includes some snacks, includes supplies, etc. And it's pretty inexpensive, actually, considering what we're doing. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. So one of these days I'm going to hit you up, Bambi. I just know it. So anyway, you guys have a great week, and I will see y'all not next week, 2 weeks from now. Okay, see you soon. Bye.